All right. Welcome to Weathercraft Entertainment News. I am Andrea, and this is our guest today, Miss Jessica Pace.
Hello.
The co-owner of From Us to You. It is a handmade crafts and gifts business.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Hobbyist business.
All right. So, let's begin. Okay, first question, ma'am. What inspired you to start your business?
Well, originally it was a bag of cement that we found in the garage where we used to live. And
How did you get a bag of cement?
it was just in there, I assume from our old landlord.
Uh-huh.
But we decided, well, let's figure out what we can do with this. And after 2 years of absolute failure, we finally figured it out.
All right.
Because you can't just use a regular bag of cement to actually do things for support or for structure or anything.
All
We
right.
found out the hard way. And we got into doing stepping stones. We made our own recipe.
Now, what is a stepping stone?
That. No, that's that.
What are they usually used for? My goodness.
Ah, there you go. They're actually pieces of garden art. You can, like that one, King of the Castle, makes a fantastic Father's Day gift.
Oh, yes.
Something like that. And they're good for either sitting on the mantle inside the house, or for being outside the house in the garden, or at the front porch.
Do you actually step on them?
Yes, you can, as long as they're level. Because unfortunately, we have yet to find a way for our stones to defy physics.
Now, I know you guys do a lot of the animal shows, or I'm not quite sure. Explain, like, other venues that you do?
Oh yes, we
'Cause I know
we
you
try
guys-
and cater to like everyone. So King of the Castle could easily be something at the Renaissance Festival, whereas that would be good at a pet expo or a dog show or an adoption event. We also cater to we cater to other groups such as the Goths when it comes to different things. I can guarantee
I
we're
know
one
this
of
one.
yeah, we're one of the few people that's going to sell you a coffin. And that's been
They
wood
do
burned.
open.
Yeah, it's a little trinket box. It's been wood burned. We actually go through and stain them, color them with oil pencils, and that one's unfinished. But we also sign them at the back with our little From Us to You.
Now, I know you have an interesting story regarding one of these coffins. You told me several times.
Yes, it was one of the most interesting requests that we've had. We were working on a couple of coffins, and this little girl, about age 4, came over and really wanted a coffin. And so normally we sell our coffins for like $10, but for a little kid, we're not going to do that. So we're like, okay, well, $2. And she didn't want anything on it. She just wanted a plain coffin. So we went ahead, signed our name to the back, and touched it up with a couple of wood burn techniques, sold it to her. Her parents then came over and thanked us because the coffin was for her little hamster who died that morning.
Aww.
And it was being buried in the coffin.
Aww.
Had we known the coffin was just going into the ground, we would not have charged her anything. They can be for actual use, but we hadn't really thought that we would be selling coffins for actual use.
All right. Okay, we have already mentioned some of the avenues that you have found, but which ones have you found to be the most profitable?
Actually, you would, rather than doing craft shows or garden shows or even animal shows, the most profitable have been conventions, where I've been inspired to do little creatures that I'll sculpt out of wax, make a mold for, and then make a bunch of them
Yes.
and paint them up different. And I go ahead and I also modify them so they're not all the same. As an example, they have different different tails, different horns, though the expression generally is the same. But conventions, and oddly enough, we've been doing Yumacon and a couple of other anime conventions for a few years now, and I don't sell anything anime. But I do very well
She
there.
does very well there.
So I have to think that people just in general like my work, which makes me happy.
Okay. Okay, we already mentioned one of your unusual requests. What was your other most unusual request regarding one of the stones? You just told me this story recently.
Oh yes, it was a large stepping stone one of my friends from
Only
college.
happens at art school.
Yeah, one of my friends from college approached me after I made my first stepping stone, which was actually for my teacher, the first one that was ever sold. And he approached me and wanted to know if I could make him one too. He had me put this interesting saying in it, but the most interesting thing about the saying was not only was it from his grandfather, but he had me mix his grandfather's ashes into the stepping stone, which I do at no extra cost. But yeah, I touched human ashes. I'm pretty sure that I actually accidentally snorted some too, which is very awkward. It happens when you're mixing up dust and cement.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he had the stepping stone with his grandfather's saying in it, and his grandfather, and took it out to the middle of the ocean at one of the deepest areas he knew. Since his grandfather wanted to be in the ocean, he dropped the stone into the ocean. Like, yeah, surprisingly, a lot of my work is either dropped in places like the dirt or in the ocean. Okay, if that's what people want to do with it.
I bet you guys weren't expecting to be dealing with so much death when you got into making gifts and things like that.
No. And that's the thing, a lot of people are looking for affordable memorial stones. We do cute little things like the I Heart My Dog bones and different little paws. But a lot of times people ask us to put names on them, dates, memorial stones. And in fact, on a serious note, the most emotional one that I've ever had to do was for a little girl who was only 3 weeks old. And I cried the whole time when I actually did up that memorial stone for her.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it was very, very sad. I still know her name and the saying that was put on it, the colors, and you don't expect to deal with a lot of death when you're doing especially crafty gifts.
Yeah,
but
surprising.
We have found that a lot of people who are grieving and looking for certain things and certain avenues of grief and memorials will come to us and make requests. And we just will go ahead and do it. We don't charge anything extra for such things because, well, we don't want to make a profit off of death.
I don't blame you. That's kind of unsettling.
Yeah.
Okay. Why haven't you guys gotten a shop yet? Like a storefront?
Well, there's two reasons for this, actually. The first reason is because if we were to have a shop or storefront at the moment, we would not be able to go out and do conventions and travel with our trailer and work from home.
Okay.
The other reason is with the economy tanking these days, a lot of small businesses are not making money. And the buildings themselves, even if you're not paying for the actual rent, you have the heat, the utilities, the advertising, and it's not to mention the insurance. The insurance actually costs more than the building does sometimes. So it's
like a car.
Yeah, like a car that's stationary and stuck in place.
Exactly.
And you cannot drive it around. But that's where we're at now with that. So it's a dream of ours to eventually get a storefront, but it's something that we would definitely have to save up for.
I understand, yeah. All right. Well, what has been the largest obstacle you have overcome with your business?
The largest obstacle when it comes to our business, besides getting our LLC, which is Limited Liability Claim Insurance, has been the fact that my mom and I are disabled. I have fibromyalgia, asthma, and a couple of other awful things, whereas my mom has emphysema and a heart condition, and we're both on disability. We both cannot work, but we spend time with each other and basically try to make a living doing our crafts and selling them. Yeah.
Wish I could do what I love to do for a living.
Well, you kind of do. I sell it for you, but you have to make it.
All right. Let's see. How do you guys keep busy all year round?
Oh, that's a fun one. We do, like I said, we cater to all kinds of groups. So during the spring, it's spring items such as stepping stones that have flowers on them, welcomes. We do gardening events. We do the pet expos. During the summer, there's a lot of pet expos, and then there's also the beach events. And we do our wood burning.
Mm-hmm.
There's birthdays. Birthdays are year-round.
Wood burning.
Yes.
I know your mom usually has most of the plex, right?
Yes.
That's her thing. I know because I've seen her workspace. She has a big workspace and
Oh, yes.
all kinds
My
of
mom
plex
does
and things.
most of the wood burning,
She
if
loves
not
it.
all of it. She's very good at
She
it.
is very good. Has a very steady hand.
And this is actually a very true saying. Creativity is very, very messy, and we are very creative. She knows from experience.
But yes.
Back to the question. What was the question again?
What do you guys do all year round?
Oh, thank you.
You got to spring,
Yes.
summer.
Well, during the winter, there's
Yes,
no
winter.
farmers markets or that going on, but we do have the holidays. So we have plenty of things for Christmas because our gifts make great stocking stuffers. And who's going to expect a stepping stone that says world's best dad on it for Christmas? They're going to get this heavy package and be like, what is this thing? But yeah, and like I said, birthdays are all year round. We cater to all kinds of holidays from Mother's Day, Sweetest Day, Father's Day. And my favorite is Halloween. So we have, Nightmare Before Christmas items.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of fan art items, stuff that you can't find anywhere in shops, but it's also our own unique take on
Oh yes.
the crafts themselves. Yes, Ghostbusters, old school.
You know they're making it over, right?
Yes, that is a discussion for another time. Though,
Indeed it is.
because that will get heated and will not be very good at all.
It's a bit of a catch-22 on that one.
yeah.
All right.
And it's not for public display. Discussing that, it will get heated and violent.
All right. How do you handle being so diverse in your crafts?
Well, for one, we actually work with a lot of other people, like yourself. I get her to go ahead and make stickers and scarves and other things. And, well, when it comes to my mom and I, we'll get burned out kind of on one craft. Like, we'll make a whole bunch of stepping stones one week, and then we don't want to do stepping stones. So she'll go into the wood burning, and I'll do some carving and make some little sculptures. But basically, when we get burnt out on one craft or don't want to do it anymore, or need to wait for the curing time or the drying time for the process of something, we move on to another medium.
Cool.
It keeps us busy, and it keeps everything cycling over and over again.
Just to give them a quick recap on it, like everything that you know how to do. Because I know you know how to do a lot of things.
You sure you got enough time there? Okay, sculpting, carving, leatherworking, metalwork, plastic pouring. I do mold making. I do figure sculpting. We have the stepping stones. We also do garden benches. I do sculptures with cement. I also make my own molds for ceramics. I know plenty about the ceramic industry. There's the woodworking, which comes down to actually finishing and sanding or redoing furniture, which my mom does.
Awesome.
Then there's the wood burning, the plaques. We torch. I'm getting into welding.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You'll get into it too, I promise.
Awesome, because I want to.
I do slip casting. We do... Oh my gosh, there's just so much to name. I do jewelry making. I do metal jewelry. I do plastic jewelry. I do ceramic jewelry. I work with resin. I work with wood. You name it, we're kind of pretty much into it, except for I don't do knitting or sewing or anything like that. I work with chainmail, though, but that chainmail and wire are the extent that I go when it comes to long
Interlinking things.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And mostly the helm weave, because that's my favorite weave.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, there's a lot that we do, and thus a lot of items that we sell and make for people.
Awesome. Well, let's see. You have some things on the table. I already showed some of your plaques. You have some little eggs, an egg here.
Go for
Now
it.
these are pretty cool.
Yes.
These are the ones you make out of.
They're plastic and rubber.
Okay, yes.
So it's a
Is this
plastic...
one that glows in the dark?
Not
No.
yet. It hasn't been fully finished.
All right.
Yeah, it's...
Some of these glow in the dark, and it's pretty cool.
I make all of them glow in the dark.
They're
all like
cool.
that green bumpy, that will glow in the dark eventually.
Yes, pretty. All right, and you didn't bring enough stuff out.
This has like a little bit of everything.
Yes, but you didn't bring enough. So we have here a few stepping stones, a few reflects. Some of these stepping stones I know come in paw shapes.
Oh yeah.
They're cute.
They're locked up in the trailer at the moment.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Bye.